Welcome back to the Bullpen Mafia. We have a very, very special guest here today. So special, I threw his jersey on. Got the Sugar Kings jersey. One of my favorite players, one of my favorite guys that I've ever come across in the game of baseball. Garrett Cooper. Coop, you're the man. Thanks for joining us, buddy. How's everything going?
Happy to be here. Just enjoying my time in cold Chicago right now, and enjoying the off day before we get back tomorrow against the Astros. So it's a nice off day after a long 10-day West Coast road trip, and then a nice series against your jersey that you have on that we just played.
Damn right. Cool. I mean, honestly, what better way to spend an off day than with a couple of former teammates just shooting the shit at talking about the minor leagues, you know?
just like they draw them up, Petey. Off day, more ball, dude.
I was gonna say, as always, we got no Toad tonight, but we got our boy Javi Salas, a Miami Fish guy at heart too. Javi, what do you got? I mean, we're excited, man. We got Coop on here. We might talk a little Miami with him. We might spit a little bit of everything. But what do you think? What do you think about Coop being on here tonight?
Dude, Coop's the man, and I'm so happy that he's. And dude, my fiance's dogs are going nuts down here. I don't know if you guys can hear him, but I obviously followed Coop very closely in his time here in South Florida. Man, was a beloved Marlin, probably one of the longer tenured Marlins of that era. Six seasons down here. So I know Coop, a little bit better than most, and I've always had great admiration for his career, man. I think Petey, we were talking off air, just Coop's sort of rise through the Brewer system and eventually, cracking with the Yankees and just the journey he's been on. So, I mean, Coop, from an outsider's perspective and someone who saw you, man, this is, tremendous. Thanks for being on with us. And, Petey, obviously you're going to get
some happy to join you guys, man.
Yeah. Petey's going to get some in-person Coop action this weekend. So
that's right.
What better way to sort of welcome the podcast than to have him on.
Hey, we'll get some footage too, right? I'll get a nice picture we'll send over to the producers, on Friday when we're out there.
Wear a couple of Red Sox jerseys,
Brady's going to have I'm going to be on Amazon right after this interview. We'll have a Cubs uniform here in no time, bro.
Yo, make sure the Fanatics version, though.
No, I know.
Make sure it's the small letters in the back.
Bro, this Coop jersey I have on right here is this is the Nike one, but this is as authentic as it gets, bro. We got stitching on this thing. This is the real deal. This is so just for all the viewers at home, once you see this thing, this is a Christmas present last year from Coop to Brady. Really cool. We had it hanging above the tree. We pretty much had this thing on the tree when he woke up in the morning. So it's a little big for him, though. A little big for me, too.
Just a little bit taller than you guys.
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit bigger, Coop. That's what I even wrote that down here tonight. I was like, if the audience, you can look up Coop's vital stats, after the show, but Coop's a massive human being, and he absolutely is just, I mean, there's not a lot of fat on there, Coop. That's a lot of pure muscle you got there, bud.
Yeah, we're working through.
Yeah, you're getting a little older,
Yeah, getting a little older. The recovery's not as great anymore.
Exactly. Like I was saying at the beginning, I mean, Coop's one of my favorite teammates I ever played with. I mean, he worked his ass off to get to where he is now. Every level he went to, I feel like when we were playing, and Coop, I'm sure you could probably back this up, right? There was always somebody that we had there that was some sort of a top prospect or somebody that, hey, this guy's probably the next guy in the big leagues for us at this position. And you just did nothing but come in, absolutely rake, pick it at first. You played with so much confidence, man, all the time. Like you belong there and you belong to get to the you were going to get to the big leagues, which obviously you eventually did. But I always thought the way that you carried yourself whenever you went to places was special. And I feel like I always knew, and me and my dad would always talk after games. You'd always ask about some of the guys and stuff like that were coming in. And I was always like, hey man, wait till you see Coop. Wait till Coop gets a shot every day, man. Like that guy's in there. He rakes. He's a great locker room guy. He's a good guy to be around. Much like this podcast, got a lot of glue guys on here too. So, when you get a position player that's a good dude and hangs out with the pitchers a little bit too, you got to make sure you give him his props. And again, like Coop, you were almost, I always joke, like you were like a big leaguer before the big leaguers though, bro. Remember, I think in Colorado Springs, I think you had one of everything in the Lululemon store that was there. Shout out Lululemon too, if you guys are listening.
I still do.
Do you really?
See the closet downstairs. There's probably about 50 to 60 pieces down there.
Bro, I'd be like buying, like we'd go to the store because Coop and I were rooming together at that point. We'd be like stopping on the way to the field. Coop be like picking up like 7 t-shirts and a pair of shorts. I would just grab a pair of shorts just for the hell of it, just to keep it going, just to keep Coop's tab open. But yeah, no, It's funny, man. I mean, we spent a lot of time together. You were up in Colorado before I was, and you got called up in 2016 there. And like I said, you always been a great teammate, always been a good guy to me. Always loved watching you play. Still love watching you play. My son's obviously a huge fan of yours now, and you've been great to me and my family. So it's awesome to have you on here, buddy. We'll get into a little bit of your playing career and some cool moments, and Javi and I will go back and forth with you a little bit.
Appreciate it. Glad to be here. Can't wait for the questions.
Absolutely. All right, so cool. Let's start it off. 6th rounder, 2013, out of Auburn. Javi had a good question here. Javi, you want to ask him about your boy?
Coop, how many Charles Barkley interactions?
Oh man, let me see. I came into contact with him my first time when I went out my first night in Auburn with the boys.
Wow,
that's awesome.
He was amazing. At the really expensive restaurant, Hamilton's, right next to the bar we used to go to at Auburn called 1716. He lives the college life still. He was down at Auburn. We went to the Auburn Alabama game this year, and he was there living it up just like he was 10, 12 years ago when I first met him.
It's insane.
So yeah, he's an Auburn legend there. He's still part of the crew that rolls in all the the Bo Jackson, the Frank Thomas, those guys that that are Auburn royalty.
Right.
I don't think I'll ever be the Auburn royalty like those guys are, but
you already are, Coop, in our eyes.
Come on. Hey, as long as you guys think, that's all that
That's
matters
right.
to me, man.
That's right. That's right.
Coop, like just peeling back Auburn a little bit. You're a Southern California kid. How was that like transitioning from California over to Auburn, Alabama? It must have been a big culture shock.
So let's start from the beginning. The only school I ever wanted to play at out of high school was UCLA.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Biggest fan growing up was my biggest player in the MLB was Troy Gloss, third baseman at UCLA.
Yeah.
Legend.
He was Angels. I was a huge Angels fan, thick and through. They won the World Series in 2002. I was at those games with my buddy. And then, never got a scholarship there and, never got the chance to be, recruited by that school. So even though my family is a full diehard USC Trojans fan and, the fam was not too happy when I didn't go to USC. So, and I always wanted, if I never played UCLA, I always wanted to go out of state. It was always a thing where, being too close to home for me I didn't want to have 15 people at every single college game. So
right.
The transition to Auburn was as soon as I got a call, because I went to junior college, out of high school, because I wasn't going to go to a D1 and sit the bench and be a redshirt freshman. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to waste a year of college like a lot of guys do going to big programs. And, they're going to be, you're going to be a starter. And then you just kind of waste your first year. And then you end up backtracking and going to play summer ball and all that stuff that happens with all these guys that go into freshman year in college. And so I went to junior college. After my freshman year, Auburn called, Nate Friendly, my junior college coach. And let me tell you, their official visit was Cam Newton's year, and it was the most explosive. I went to Auburn LSU that year.
Wow!
I think it was the most explosive college experience one could ever imagine. 150,000 people. I was like, this is not USC or UCLA football.
No,
this is not California. This is life and death down here. I don't really have any other way to say it, but Auburn, Alabama is thick and through the number one thing they watch is Auburn football, and Cam Newton was a god down there, and they still talk about it to this day when he comes. I've met him a few times, and he's come down. He's come back and watched games, and it's like he's still the king of when they won the national championship. Wow. So the transition to Auburn was about, as soon as I went to the game, I was like, this school is it. You don't even have to show me anything else. This is the atmosphere I want to be in.
Coop, imagine what the baseball team is saying when they're talking about you. They're like, hey, this Cooper kid, man, his recruiting trip. Let me tell you a little bit about when Cooper was here. you guys want to sign here, call Coop, ask him about his recruiting trip. You know, I don't even know if we can talk about that on air.
All it took was a recruiting trip. You know, that's all. It sold me from day
That's
one.
it.
You know, one minute on campus.
Yeah, they'd be like, Coop, you're not going to play till your senior year. You're like, nope, I'm still coming. I love it here.
We got $0.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What about education? You guys get any education money or what? I love that, man. That's awesome. So just real quick for the viewers. So I think the first year, Javi, were you in Brevard in 2014 with us before Biloxi in 15, right?
I was 15.
You were 15. Okay. So you were 15 with Coop in Biloxi then, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Coop, I was saying to Javi before the show too, like, I mean, in terms of like roommates, man, like I had some weird ass roommates, right? Like I had some guys who was trying to get their rap career started. I got guys reading like pitching for dummies, bro, and like throwing complete games mechanically. Cool. I don't know what it was about you and I, man, but I feel like we hit it off. I mean, you were great with I always tell people like, you know, a big thing with the roommate is always about his TV schedule and what he's doing. I mean, you were like a guy where we were on the same page, man. If you were shutting off the TV at night or we were ready to go to bed, man, we were going to bed. And if Coop's out there like ready to go, he goes 4 for 4 that night and he's ready to rip it up, like whatever. Coop's doing what he's got to do as long as he's hitting them out, as long as he's picking it. We'll get into that more down the road here, but so Coop, just like real quick, we say this because obviously we're career minor league guys over here, but like if you had to pick who was your favorite teammate? Who was your favorite guy that you played with in the minor leagues? We'll get to the big leagues later, but we want to know the minor league stuff first.
Oh man, Petey, I know you want me to say you.
Petey wants his tires pumped. Petey wants his tires pumped a little bit. Yeah.
I didn't set that up at all, Coop. No, dude, do your thing, bro. This is your episode.
No, Petey, you were great. Nate Orff was another great one.
Oh man, what a dude. What a dude.
Nate Orff was great. Tyrone Taylor was another good one. You know, just the boys. It was such a, you know, the Brewers had such a close group of boys like Coulter and, you know, Taylor Brennan, everyone that all of us played with. It was just such a, you know, a lot of the guys were, you know, at the same point of their life. A lot of the guys were single at the time, so a lot of guys hung out, you know, outside of baseball at the time. You know, early in your 20s, and you know, you're just living the minor league life of grinding from, you know, city to city. But, you know, you're up there, Petey. I'm not going to, you know.
I love it, Coop, but thank you very much. I
between you.
Bro, hey, Coop, I'm dying laughing, bro, because I just, like, you bring up Taylor Brennan, right? Like, I mean, this dude sent me a text, and I'll tell you, you know, we didn't even talk to him about this. This guy sent me a Facebook message the other night. It says, we all have that one friend you can't trust to go out to have one drink with. He'll end up having 20 drinks, 16 shots, and black out by 11. It's me. I'm that friend. I go, yeah, bro, that is you. He writes back, yeah, you fucking love it. Like, dude, I haven't talked to this dude in 2 years. You know, like
hey, he's king of bringing up the good old minor league stories.
He's unbelievable.
Good dude,
man.
You know, was with them in Low A, High A,
yeah.
Low A, High A, yeah.
Bro,
so,
that
know,
is
a lot of good stories, a lot of good time. But no, you, Orphy and Tyrone, you know, was another great one too. And you know, the boys love to hang out after games were over. So you know.
What's Orphy doing now? He's not still around the league, is he?
No, I think he was done a couple years ago. I think he's doing maybe some coaching, maybe some travel ball back in.
He's another guy, Coop, like you said, man. He's just like, what a dude, man. Worked his ass off. Very similar to you. Like, I think he was an undrafted free agent, out of Baylor, right? Man, he worked his ass off. Yeah.
Or something crazy.
He's one of those guys too, man. Like when you watched him out there, like it was like he's never making a maybe he's not going out there. He's not the flashiest guy in the world, but man, he does everything right. And he's just he's just. I mean, as a manager, man, I'm sure you absolutely love to have a guy like that.
One of the best all around.
Absolutely.
Everything, baseball, life, spiritually. That guy was like
locked in.
You know, just locked in on everything about, you know, just everything in life. I mean, and his body too. The guy loved a good Chipotle meal after the workout.
He did. Remember he used to lay on his back and put his feet up for like 20 minutes straight, dude, just to say he was getting new blood in there. Remember?
Oh man!
Every day in the locker room, bro, he'd have his legs up for 20 minutes. These things would be absolutely like spaghetti when he got back. But he said, give him 5 minutes. It will feel like I've never walked before, but I'll be ready for game 2. It was unbelievable, dude. That's some of the shit that kid used to do. All right, cool. We'll get it going here a little bit. And this is I love talking about this part because this is one of the coolest things for me. Because I feel like you kind of let me be a part of it. You had a family coming in for the first night, but you climb the ladder quickly with the Brew Crew, right? You get traded to the Yankees. What seems like kind of out of nowhere, July 13, 2017. You're a big leaguer, dude. What's it like getting that call?
So I just played in the AAA All-Star game.
I remember that. Yep.
Home. I'm flying back at 6 a.m. from Tacoma, Washington, back to Colorado Springs. I'm exhausted. I'm like, I fall asleep on the plane. Turn my phone on. Do not disturb. Turn my phone back on. We land in Colorado Springs, and I got 13 missed calls and text messages from Rick Sweet. I mean, you guys know Sweetie.
Yeah, Sweetie.
AAA manager, still the AAA manager. For the Brew Crew. And I call him back because I'm like, oh my God, something happened. Like, what's going on? Like,
Right.
And so I give him a phone call, and he was like, I'm like, Sweetie, why'd you call me so many times? Like, it's 6:30 in the morning. And he's like, hey man, just want to make sure you're okay to play today. Our game's tonight, and I didn't know if I want to give you a day off or not. And I'm like, yeah, Sweetie, I'm tired, man, but I'm good to play. Like, there's no different. And he paused about 10 seconds. So I kind of thought the phone call was over. And he goes, never mind, man. I'm just messing with you. You just got traded to the Yankees. And I'm like, oh shit. Like,
right.
Like, all right.
Whoa.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is crazy. And he's like, I don't know if you're going to the big leagues or not, but, just have your phone on in case. And I later found out that he knew I was going to the big leagues. He didn't want to be the one that broke it to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, that's insane, man.
He didn't want to be the guy that was the guy who gave me my first. He waited till Brian Cashman called me.
Wow.
About
that's
10
so
minutes
cool.
after that phone call, and just talking to Cash. Everything's great. Reasons he traded for me and all this stuff, and he's like, we'll see you in Fenway tomorrow night. At the end of the phone call. And I'm like,
yeah.
Well, now I got to get 30 people in California on a
literally.
Like I need to life just flipped, 360 upside down.
Coop, 33 people. I think I asked you for the 3 tickets too. You were like, fuck yourself, dude. You're going to see it tomorrow night, buddy. All right. Like we're going to get the family in.
But I mean, it was crazy, man. I don't get too emotional at times, but that was an emotional time. And just a phone call of the parents and the brothers and the best friends back home, and that's something that you'll never forget. That phone call will forever be etched into my brain. Hopping on that flight to Boston the next morning, I mean, I couldn't tell you how nervous I was going into a clubhouse. With how many veteran guys, how many all-stars,
so many vets, dude.
I mean. Matt Holliday, Sabathia, Aroldis Chapman, Ellsbury, Brett Gardner, Headley, it was like what Gary Sanchez, Betances, like you could name every single one of them been an all-star at some point in their career.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. It's insane.
I mean, I walked in and just crazy. And, you'll never forget that feeling. You'll never, there's no greater feeling, I don't think, besides maybe having a kid is up there with that one too. Seeing the excitement of your wife and the kids' eyes, like that's up there too. But definitely for what you work for your whole life, just to hear your name and you see your name in the lineup the next day hitting 6 hole at 6 or 7 or I don't even remember what I hit because I was so fucking
just
nervous.
grab the bat and go.
But yeah, no, I mean, look, everyone works for a dream, and have that dream come true is a whole nother animal. To do it with the Yankees Red Sox rivalry, both teams were good at the time.
I mean, that's what I was going to ask you, Coop. You're playing the AAA All-Star game 48 hours, before this. You get a call from Cashman, and next thing you know, you're opening the doors to the locker room at Fenway Park, and you're like, taking the field for your big league debut. I mean, we're in the Biloxi. We all got okay. So this is just take it back to where we were. We're in Biloxi. We're watching Coop's at bat, and Sandy's the hitting coach at the time, and Sandy's like, "Hey, fucking pitch you, man. Let's go see when Coop hit. Go tell me when Coop hit." So you know how Biloxi you were like, "Cooper's up, dude." Half the dugout from Biloxi comes running in. We're watching Coop take his at bat at Fenway. That must have been unbelievable, dude.
That was crazy, man. I'll never. I think I swung first pitch and I got lined out to second or got jammed. I mean, honestly, I couldn't even tell you what happened that day. All I know is I had 3 punchies that game, and it was probably the most unhappy but happy at the same time.
Yeah, I bet.
It happened, just to get through that first game. The nerves were – I mean, I couldn't tell you. My legs were so numb. Who knows what pitches I swung at or, what the counts I swung in or any of that stuff. I don't remember any of that. I do remember my first hit. That's about it from that weekend. So
David Price, right? David Price, Sunday Night Baseball.
Sunday Night Baseball. I
remember that
2-1 cutter down and in.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. You still get the ball, Coop?
I do.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
What was it like? I mean, dude, you go from, like I said, from AAA to the big leagues, and not just the big leagues. You're with the New York Yankees, man, which is like you're at the pinnacle of Major League Baseball, and you're you get your first shot there. What was it like that first, those first couple weeks for the Yankees? I mean, did you have any run-ins in New York, or you just, like, pinch me, man? I'm in New York City. We play in Yankee Stadium. Like that's stuff you dream about, man. Like what were those first couple weeks like?
Yeah, let me tell you. When I got traded to the Yankees, I was like, wow, this is like the Taj Mahal of like a kid's dream to play in a major league team. Like of all the stories and World Series championships and all the All-Star, Silver Slugger, like just you could name. Everyone knows who the Yankees are. You could be, a random person and they know who the Yankees are. Not a lot of people. Not everyone's gonna know who the Miami Marlins are around the world. That's not that's not a worldwide name.
Coop, the Yankee, that's Javi's favorite fucking team too. So he always wants to talk about it.
Keep talking about it. Keep going, Coop. Music's to my ears. That lowly team in Boston.
Yeah, okay, bro. Yeah, relax, buddy. All right.
And let me tell you, those first 2 weeks. I mean, I was like, after getting my first hit and like kind of settling into like just playing baseball again. I mean, just walking into the Yankees clubhouse and like being. You see, they have a board in their locker room that has everyone's signature of every Yankee that's ever played, for the organization, and that's there to remind you of what kind of organization this is. Who has stepped on the field before you. They
That's
are
so sick.
They're very old school, no facial hair, not that I can grow.
You don't got to worry about that, Coop. You don't got to worry about that.
I wish I could, but the name is just tough. So, but it's, it's like what every kid wants. The Dodgers and Yankees is like the two biggest baseball organizations in sports, based on pure, world championships and the name. The Red Sox are up there. There's a lot of other teams up there, but if you were to say who are the two biggest orgs, the Yankees and Dodgers. And but I just, after baseball kind of got back to baseball, it was just kind of you just kind of sit back and like, wow, I'm in the big leagues, but it's also your job, and your job is to stay in the big leagues. And I think that's the toughest part of anybody's career. No matter how well you do, no matter, there's a lot of things that you can't control in baseball. And one of them is, the optioning of up and down. And, so getting optioned back to AAA after a few weeks in the big leagues, the humbleness comes back to the reality comes back to reality.
I bet.
So, but no, I mean, look, man, the dream and all of that was, bar none, one of the greatest experiences of my life, being a part of that, just for those few months I was there. Right. And, I'll always have, that on my, that to my name, and those experiences, to last you a lifetime. And it was awesome. Fun, but, it would have been a lot better if they would have won. I wasn't on the playoff roster, but if they would have won a World Series, to get a World Series ring would have been pretty nice that year too.
Yeah.
But we came up a little short that year, so yeah, it was fun though.
So Coop, you go from the concrete jungle down to South Beach, bro, where Javi's made a name for himself down there as well. But Javi, I'm gonna let you take the Miami part, bro, because I know this is near and dear to the heart. So you want to get the Marlins stuff going, man? Take it.
Yeah, Coop. I mean, obviously, you go from New York and you get your opportunity with the Yankees, and then you start, come down to South Florida with the Marlins, who, much less history than the Yankees, a team that has 2 World Series championships, but again, not the same level of prestige as the New York Yankees. And then you have this 6-year career down here. What was that like, Coop? I mean, I know, it probably started off a little bit more difficult than you expected with some injuries, but really came into your own. You're an all-star in 22. What was it like kind of growing up in the major leagues with the Marlins?
Yeah, I think my second game in my career in Miami,
broke your wrist, right?
Kyle Hendricks, who I'm with the Cubs right now.
Yeah, that's your.
I brought it
your
up
boy
to
now.
Spring. Yeah, I brought it up to him this spring. Drilled me in the wrist with 89 or whatever it was, and I missed pretty much the whole year. Like there was a torn tendon sheath in there. We tried to rehab it without surgery. Blah 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 blah. The season was kind of a wash, and I only got like 20 at bats. Trying to come back from it. But it's funny because Kyle, I was like, dude, you cost me a whole year, man. Like, there's got to be some retribution. There should be some payment, for the time missed. But it was funny. Like, he was so like one of the greatest guys you could meet in baseball. Like, so nice, so humble. Like, he was like, oh, man, I'm still like, I feel bad. Like, I didn't even know you missed the whole year because of that. But no, so that's how my career started off in Miami. It was. There were a lot of ups and downs here, man. Like Miami was tough, wins and losses the first few years. They sold everyone off.
Right.
I have nothing but gratitude towards the Marlins. I was given a chance to play every day. The front office believed in, what I could do as a player every day. Not a lot of guys get the opportunity to go into an organization, especially me. I was a little older, 26, 27. That's a little bit older in baseball, in the baseball life. So, for someone to see and say, hey, Gary Denbo was the one that came from the Yankees who had traded for me over there. He came down to Miami, and I was the first trade Jeter had made.
Wow.
Me and Caleb Smith for Michael King and some international money. We were the first trade. So
That's awesome.
Michael King is now in San Diego. He's turned out to be a pretty good pitcher. So, the trade, it's worked out in both ways. And, Michael King got Juan Soto to the Yankees. So, Yankees fans should be happy that I was traded.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you, Coop. Thank you, Coop.
Yes.
Yeah, that I was traded for Michael King that led Soto to the Bronx. So, it should be some happiness that I was there. But, I think Miami was a great city. We live there year round. That's our home. That's where we're going to raise our kids. That's, we're in Coral Gables. That's life right now. Miami will always be home, while I'm playing baseball, training in the off season, that's where I am. But there was a lot of turnover in Miami in my 6 years there, man. There was a lot of different front office, a couple new GMs, a couple hitting coaches, brand new every year, it was in an organization that was in constant turnover, and it was tough to see because, we didn't make the playoffs in 2020, even though it was COVID, that's a weird year. And, a lot of people don't, believe in the COVID year or believe in the World Series year, all that stuff. But, no, I think, last year, it was great, to get traded, and, they made the playoffs, great for those guys there. A little sad that I wasn't a part of, get to be a part of the playoff celebration. But, I have nothing but good things to say, man. They gave me an opportunity every single day to play. They dealt with, the injuries throughout the career. I think, dealing with 90, 100 losses is tough for anyone to come into work every single day, mentally and physically. But look, it's a job. You're paid money to go and do your job. And, I'm grateful that they gave me the chance to be an everyday big leaguer and, continued my career and the way it's gone so far.
Hey,
Awesome.
Petey, you just got a couple Coral Gables boys, man. On the pod.
I'll tell you, man.
You got to make a trip down. That's it. It's written in the stars, buddy.
Nah, there's too many Boston people in Florida now. I got to keep them out of there.
I was gonna say, you guys don't want me down there, bro. Just let me stay up north here, bro. Like, you know what I mean? We don't, and me and Coop are the same. I don't, Coop, you survived, better than I thought you would down there with the weather. But I mean, us fair skinned boys can't handle it down there, bro.
I just stay sunburned all year round. It's just how life is. Just try to throw sunscreen and it just wears off.
I love it, man. Javi, you want to go? Javi, I know you got a couple of good questions, man. About just like a couple core Miami questions you want to ask Coop. You want to hit him with a couple?
Coop, we got our guy Toad, man. He's out of commission tonight, but he's a Miami guy through and through. He wanted to know some, what is it about the Miami food? Did you get into some Latin food down here? You have some Cuban coffee. What are some Garrett Cooper hotspots we can catch you in the off season for all the Miami folks?
Hey, I'm about as bougie as it comes in restaurants.
You are, Coop.
Yeah,
Coop, you really are, dude.
Look, I don't spend a lot of money on a lot of things, but
right.
food is one of them. I will always spend.
Yes.
Erica and I, we don't drink that much anymore. When you got kids, Petey, it's tough, man.
The mornings are tough now, man. They're not. You ain't sleeping in no more, Coop.
Yeah, so I think Miami has some of the best food in the world. We've been to, you name it. We've been to it probably in South Beach or Brickell or Coral Gables or Coconut Grove. There's no real Cuban spots. I'm not the biggest Cuban fan of all the foods.
How's that feel, Javi?
We're gonna have to cut that. Dude.
Suck on that one, Javi. Yeah.
That part.
Look, I'll eat it. If it's there, I'll eat it.
Right.
But, I'm not gonna go out of my way to go catch a nice Cuban meal. That's just not. I'll rather go to Nobu to catch some sushi or
Hey, Coop's like, I'm not a big fan of a Cuban meal unless it's unless it's like a 5-star and like 70 or 80 a plate. I'll go. I don't give a fuck how good it is.
Michelin star Cuban, baby.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, Coop, that's good stuff about the Marlins, man. That's must have been as jarring as the trade deadline probably was last year. Going back to California must have been nice, right? You go back and play in San Diego, closer to family, and you join a team again. You just seem to be. Your career has sort of guided you to some of the bigger market and bigger cities in Major League Baseball, right? So you're in New York, Miami, now you're in San Diego. What was it like with the Padres there at the end? Obviously, a team, a lot of big personalities and a lot of star power.
Yeah, I think going from big market New York to a smaller market in Miami to San Diego, where what did they have? 12 to 15 all-stars on that roster. It was stacked, it was about as star-studded as you could, put a lineup together.
Yeah.
What do you got? Tatis, Soto, Machado, Bogarts, 1 through 4. So it's like, all right, well, you got
have fun, pitchers.
Yeah, have a good time out there with those guys.
Yeah.
I'll chill down here at the bottom of the lineup.
Right. Feed me fastball.
Feed me some heater.
Yeah. Put those guys on. Let me get some good swings off. But no, it was great, man. Every single guy there, they didn't live up, to the expectations that everyone had for them last year. Such great dudes on the team. I knew Josh Hader from the minor leagues. You guys knew. Yeah. Just knowing some of those dudes. Nick Martinez, was on the team last year for the past couple of years. He's in Miami. I work out with him, and in the off season. Just playing against those guys. They just it is what it is. You have up and down years. And that's part of baseball, man. You can spend $20 billion, and that's not going to guarantee you to win a World Series. None of that matters, man. It's just, and we caught really hot at the end of the year, and it was a little too late. I think we won 10 or 11 in a row, and we fell out of the playoffs by 1 or 2 games, and
ran out of season, dude. Ran out of season. Ran out of games.
But it was fun, man. San Diego, they lived in Coronado. One of the best cities in the world, man. San Diego is top notch. One of the nicer beach cities out there.
How's the food out there, though, Coop? You getting enough 5-star meals out there? You spending enough money at the restaurants out there in Coronado?
Hey, they had great food out here too. I'm not,
Okay.
Yeah, Chicago's up there too. I mean,
I was gonna say Chicago. I'm sure you got a couple nice steakhouses downtown that you've probably frequented.
Yeah, there's been a few. There's been a few we've gone to. But no, I mean, San Diego was great. Now we're here in Chicago. Chicago's great, man. It's been 4 great organizations. Milwaukee was great. With you guys, it was too bad I didn't get the opportunity with them. And at the time they had Eric Thames, who had like 70 homers at the time, and
seriously,
Jesus Aguilar, who was coming off All-Star year. Like, it was just a tough org to break into with the big leagues, regardless of how well I was playing at AAA.
Coop, I laughed too, but I was just thinking about back to the restaurants. Like, I remember, I think it was last year when Erica was in town too, and she had said something like, "Hey, dude, we're going out to dinner or something like this. Like, after you guys want to stick around?" And I think we had Brady at the time, so we're like, "No, we're gonna head back." We're like, "Where are you guys going?" Erica knows more. Erica, obviously, and now that I know that Coop and Erica are just all about the restaurants, Erica knew more restaurants, Javi, than I did, like in the general vicinity. She's asking me, "Hey, should we go here? Should we go to this place, that place?" I'm like, "Holy shit, I don't even know those places." I'm googling them. I'm in the stands over here googling them. Like we got Coop. Just
Hey, you play cheap on everything else, but food will spend the money for you.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, cool. Let's get into a little fun part here. Obviously, we get some questions for you at the end. I just had to tell the folks. I mean, this is like for the folks at home that don't know about Coop. I mean, Coop, when he was playing, man, was one of not only one of the best dudes to be around, but after the game, man, you knew at Coop's locker, man, guys are going to be lining up and going to be seeing what the Cooper was up to that night. And boy, let me tell you, Coop, you used to have nights, man, where if you lit that candle, you come out that next night, you go 3 for 4 or 4 for 4. The boys know it's automatic. Hey, right back to where we were. Same friggin' game plan. Shout out to Pedialyte, for a quick. I don't know if they're listening. That I saved a lot of the boys a lot of the times. But Coop, is that a tradition that you still keep alive? I know you said you're not getting out into you got Reagan now. You might have changed it. Your life's changed a little bit, but are you still are you still keeping to that theme every once in a while, or what do we got?
Hey, life's a little different now.
It is.
The kid and the wife, and we're expecting another one, and
cool. Wow, so. Let's go for all the listeners.
So
I like that.
We're breaking it on the podcast. We haven't even
breaking news.
Haven't even told your family yet. Haven't even told. I love it.
But no, the minor leagues was a grind. I'll be the first one to tell you that is the grindiest of grinds. Those 10-hour bus trips, those going out at night after the games were. We kept guys in it. Let me tell you.
It's so good.
But no, I'm the life that I don't drink too much anymore, man. If I do, it's some wine or something. It's
right. You're just chilling.
The body took a beating early in its early days.
Javi, by wine, Coop means like a nice $600 bottle of Cabernet at Ruth's Chris downtown Chicago.
Price me out, dude.
Yeah,
price me out.
He ain't drinking the Robert Mondavi, dude.
We are a big Pinot Noir guy. So.
Okay. I like that.
But,
I like that.
No, hey, no, what happened to light? There we go. No, it's not. The drinking is not the same as it was back in the day. The body can't handle it. If we're drinking like that, we're gonna need a whole weekend of recovery. I mean, there's no way I could go back out there and hit a baseball. Especially in the big league. What these guys do up here, There's no way. There's no way I'm ripping. And then going back out there the next morning.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, couple quick ones here, Coop. Obviously, we talk about Fenway a little bit, talk about Yankee Stadium, some of the cool places you played. What's the favorite stadium you played in? And I guess to go off of that, if it's somewhere on the road, like what's your favorite kind of road city to visit?
Number one, the best place to hit in my career that I feel like is Colorado.
Okay. Oh yeah,
come on,
come on, cool. Okay.
Hey, Colorado or Cincinnati. A lot of people. I haven't played that much in Cincy, but a lot of people love Cincy.
Okay.
Best road city is Chicago. That's what we always said. Eric
really?
And I always love Chicago. Wrigley on the weekends. There's nothing like it.
It's insane,
like it, dude.
Yeah, except Fenway.
As a visiting player, you're like, wow, this place is absolutely rocking. this is a dream for a lot of guys that, this is a dream park, and to get to experience it as the home player.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, there is, you're not getting the FUs, like you are in New York. You're not getting the booze like you are in New York.
Right.
It's just a lot of wholesome, Midwest, diehard Cubs fans. That's just, this is another dream come true, man. Playing here, this was
unbelievable.
Whenever we had Cubs series coming up every year, or the White Sox, Eric and I were like, Chicago is our road city. That's our favorite. The family always comes on the road series here. This is by far number one, our favorite road city, Chicago.
Why did you see Coop? Like, why did you love it so much? Like, just the stadium itself and the interactions, or like what else? Like, just Chicago in general.
Just Chicago in general. Just everything about it. It's just it's more of our. It's just more of our, like, we just love the vibe here. It's just, I'm sure you guys have been to Chicago. There's a great, just great feel. The city at night is awesome. There's so many places to eat. If you like to go out, there's tons of places to go out. My family came here the first week when it was 30 degrees. The only bad side is it's 35 and raining in the first month of the season, and you can't really feel your hands at the plate.
Yeah, man.
Besides that, it's
I'm going in at Coop's hands, dude. At 35 degrees, I'm living with my 92 on the inner half.
Yeah, 92 would sink though, Javi. 92 would sink, bro. Come on, give yourself a little credit now. That's awesome. Coop.
Chicago's number one.
That's awesome. Toughest pitch you ever faced? In this, I mean, I bet you got a lot.
Wait, Coop. You know who he wants you to say, right? You know who he's dying for you to say.
hey, it sure as shit ain't me, bro. It sure as shit ain't me, bro. Coop's probably like, yeah, buddy. Like, if you're ever around in the off season, like, you mind throwing me a little fucking BP? Like, you can go back to the mound if you want and just throw.
Oh man. Number one, I still to this day, when guys ask. That's a question you get a lot from people. Steven Strasburg in 2019 was the best pitcher, hands down, the hardest I'd ever. It was just, the guy was almost unhittable in my eyes. Like, the guy would throw, mid to upper curveball that had picked up speed as it's crossing the plate. He had the four-seam ride that was playing at top of the zone. Oh, and then he also had a changeup that was graded out as probably top 3 changeups in baseball. So he had all 3 of these, and he wasn't afraid to throw them at any count. So you had no clue if you were trying to base your last at bats. He was in our division, so we play the Nationals 20 times a year. So I'm catching Strasburg 4 or 5 times throughout the year.
Good luck, pal.
You're
taking an 0 for, what are you facing 3 times a game in 5 games? You're taking an 0 for 15 if you're not seeing it well. You're happy to squeeze out a hit here and there against a guy like that. And if you go back and look at the stats off him that year, I'm probably, no joke, probably 1 for 14 or 15 with like 9 punch outs.
And Coop, he's like, we were talking about him the other day, Coop. He was like one of the original starting pitchers that came into the game throwing 97 to like 99 with just nasty shit. Now I feel like you see it. Now you're seeing it a lot, but like, he was like that first guy to come in the league and really do it.
He was it. He was the golden child, first overall pick. He was the first guy to come up and be like, wow, this is what, a true number one, this is it. And stepping in the box, you were like, well, hopefully I'm guessing right. It counts.
Yeah.
Because, he's not falling into any pattern. You're sitting 2-0 fastballs. He's throwing 2-0 changeups. You're out in front, breaking bats. This is, and you look, they won, they were World Series champion with that team. And Strasburg, sucks that, feel bad that his career ended the way it has. A lot of things have gone wrong since signing that big contract. But look, man, that guy was premier, to me, the number 1 pitcher in baseball. Bar none. DeGrom is up there, and all those guys, Scherzer, and all these guys that were, Garrett Cole, and highly touted as, being the workhorses. Steven Strasburg, throughout my 7 years in the big leagues, he is bar none the best pitcher I saw in those 7 years.
Coop, I got a question for you because you bring up an interesting point. Like you talk about with Strasburg, like with a guy that's nasty, you're just kind of hoping you guess right. Like I remember my buddy Andrew Kittredge, who's with the Cardinals now, reliever, was telling me that in the All-Star game, I forget what year it was when he was up there, but Vladdy was in the cage taking BP, and Kittredge was walking by and he looked at him. He's like, I hate this guy right here. Just joking around to one of the trainers or whatever. And the guy's like, and kid's like, oh, why is that? And he's like, because every single time that I'm sitting slider, you go heater. Every single time that I'm sitting heater, you go slider. Yeah. So I guess Coop, my question is for you, like when you're facing some guys like some that have nasty stuff like that, are you sitting one pitch in there or how does that work? Like what's your mindset with some of these guys?
So early in counts, especially against guys who have power fastballs, power off speed. So you're facing a guy throwing 100 or you got the slider at 90. So, what are you going to sit 100 and then, just react to the 90 and, two strikes, that's different. Yeah. You're battling, but there's definitely, pitchers, you got to pick pitches, pick counts, pick pitches. Like if you're caught in no man's land, and you're trying to
good luck.
Done.
Yeah, good luck, man. This isn't old baseball when guys are throwing 88 to 92.
Right.
You can adjust to the changeup or adjust to the slider. No. This guy's throwing 101 with sink, or he's throwing the 90 slider on the outside corner. So pick your poison. Are you looking? Right. Are you looking? Middle in, or are you looking middle away? I mean, there's you have to. I mean, there's guys do it all the time. I mean. You'd be dumb to think these hitters aren't doing it because they take 3-2 fastballs right down the middle or 2-2 fastballs right down the middle, and they're you see the reaction time of hitters, and you know that body was sitting on off speed. So
that's true. You see the swings, right? Like the ugly ass swings as opposed to some guy who just missed it.
Petey, our 88, 89 is getting sent into freaking the other side of the apartments in Wrigley, dude.
Right. Hey, Javi, they're talking to the guy after, like, hey, were you sitting on that? The guy's like, I was just fucking up there, buddy. Like, he could throw that wrinkle whenever he wants. I'll fucking take that thing. I'll take that thing off the bleacher creatures, bro.
Oh man. Coop,
go ahead, Abby.
You've been awesome, bro. I just want to get you out of here on a just outlook question. Tell us about the Cubs, man. What's the vibe like in that locker room right now? Obviously you guys have gotten off to a nice start. You mentioned Wrigley being such a cool place, and it's a special place for you and your family. What can we expect for the Cubs this summer? I mean, Petey, Toad, and I, we're going to make a trip out there, man. I've been to Wrigley a couple times, and from a fan's perspective, it's a freaking awesome place, man. When you're in the bleachers in Wrigley, there's really nothing like it. It's a special venue. So tell us about the Cubs. Tell us what we can expect going into the summer.
Yeah, I think we've gotten off to a good start. There's a lot of good players here, man. There's a lot of all-stars, Swanson, Belly. There's a lot of good players. There's just such a well-rounded offensive attack. We have a couple injuries right now, like most teams do, but it's such a close-knit group. It's very top to bottom. There's no real weakness, because a lot of teams are very top heavy, and it's tough. The rest of the lineup's tough. So Cubs are, the front office and the coaching staff have done a great job putting together the roster. We've gotten off to a good start, like you said. A lot of great dudes. Just playing against them, throughout my career. It's such a good culture. When you go into teams, you don't really know how a culture is going to be. It's everyone's pulling for each other. There's a lot of good dudes. When pitchers and position players get along really well, it's going to be a good team.
Yeah,
you're damn right. Yeah, because you guys are fucking hard to get along with.
Couple glue guys, baby.
Right, you guys are hard to get along with, bro.
It's you guys, dude. The hitters are the ones, bro. The hitters are always the ones.
I love it.
And when the pitchers and position players can joke around to each other, that's when it's going to be a good group.
Yeah.
But no, it's a great team. Coaching staff's great. Had counsel in Milwaukee when I was coming up. He's great manager, great guy. Just a whole bunch of good human beings outside of baseball. Just a really well run organization. It's great, man. Chicago's awesome. City's awesome. Fans are awesome. It's this is a sports town through and through. this is what you sign up for when you go out, when you go out there and play, and the crowd is 50,000 people in 35-degree weather. It's this is
awesome.
it, man. This is another mecca of baseball. This is what you sign up for when you sign with an organization.
Absolutely. Coop, you're back in Boston Friday night, man. Where I'm pumped. Javi, I don't know if you know this, but like I was actively recruiting Coop so hard this offseason. I'm like asking Coop, like, hey, can I get Breslow's number, bro, so I can give him a ring real quick? Like, we need you, man.
You call Cora. You say, Cora,
dude,
we could use
hey,
a right-handed.
Javi, he's a Miami guy. I could have called you earlier.
Cora
To get
called
me,
dude.
Like I try to give everything. Like remember when a couple years ago when the Celtics were recruiting Durant, they brought in like Tom Brady, they brought in all these guys to like I wanted to give Coop that type of treatment to get him here in Boston. But Coop, you're back in Boston Friday, man. I mean, my son won't stop talking about it. You've always been unbelievable with him and our family, and getting us on the field. So we look forward to spending a couple minutes with you before the game on Friday, and we'll get some content, we'll get some pictures, we'll send it out over here. But Coop, you're the man, dude. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I'm so proud of you. It's amazing to see what you're doing, and I can't wait to see you continue it on this year, and hopefully the Cubs do something special. And just love having you, man. Thanks for joining us.
I appreciate you guys, man. It's a good time. Good, good reminiscing on life, man.
Absolutely. The good old days, Coop. You know what I mean? You're in the show now, eating these fillets every single night. You ain't eating Jonah's friggin' popcorn chicken spreads or whatever the hell we were having back then.
Coop, you're the man, bro. Thanks so much.